On that, welcome. We are here at the Student Magnet. We're excited today to help you guys optimize your website because your website is supposed to be bringing in students, and we're going to be talking about that here today.
Right.
So as John said, we just went live. I'm John. I'm not John. That's John.
No,
I'm
you're
Travis,
Travis.
and I'm gonna turn to the side and make sure this is working on all the different channels. So if I'm looking to the side today, guys, I'm not staring out the window. It's I have the control center going on here to make
I,
sure that all the channels are
yes,
being responded to.
absolutely. Got a good group on so far. It looks good. Looks good. I've got my control center set up too. So if I'm looking around, it's only because I got a screen here and I got chat over here and I got you guys over here. So speaking of chat, let us know where you're from. Let us know if you're already a member of one of our programs or if you're just joining us. Kind of looking in from the outside and seeing, just kind of spying on what we do, which is totally fine too. But there's a lot of people on, so just want to make sure that we know who we're talking to. If there's a lot of people that don't know kind of what we do and how our system works and stuff, it'd be a good chance for us to know, like, if you're curious about that, or if we have a bunch of members on here, it'd be great to jump into maybe some deeper dive stuff. It looks like it's a good mix here. So let us know. How about this? Where are you from? What time zone are you in? Something like that. What city are you in? Something like that. Yep. Hey, Liz, I see you there. Student Magnet member. Awesome. Link. What's up, Link? Are you?
Good to see you, Link. We got a
Yeah,
good mix, John. We got, I'd
good
say, a good
mix.
handful of current Student Magnet members, and then non, which is great because we want to help you guys connect, and this is value to everybody, no matter where you're at. So
For sure. For sure. And feel free if you want to go camera on. I mean, I like seeing faces. I don't know about you guys, but you know, Travis is a good looking guy, but you know,
a lot
my
of
wife thought
filters,
I,
John. A lot of filters.
yeah, yeah. My wife thought I had sleep lines the other day on my face. She's like, "You have sleep lines." I was like, "Honey, I woke up 5 hours ago. Those are permanent."
That's just
Uh, Actually, I
good.
thought they were sleep
Good.
lines too till later. Then she was like, "Yeah, those are still there. It's been 10 hours. That's just a
Wow.
line. Just lines on the face, man. It's a map of the world."
Awesome.
Cool.
Well,
Lots of
that's great to
activity
know,
in
John.
chat.
Let's help people with their websites today. How about that? How about
That's
we
a that's a fantastic idea. That's a great idea, Travis. So I'd like to go through three things, and we don't really have like a script for this or anything mapped out. We just want to kind of talk pretty candidly about this and show you guys basically, how to optimize a website, really talk through what a website is actually for, which is, as you probably hopefully already know, is to enroll more students, right? And so really the three biggest things about optimizing website is, number one, is the website designed to actually capture leads at low friction? So we see a lot of websites out there that just have either way too much information and 13 paragraph bio of the school owner, and no way for anyone to just easily get in contact with you or to give you their contact information. So we want to do the opposite of that. We want to just limit the amount of information to enough information where somebody feels comfortable and is interested in putting in their contact information. We got to incentivize them to do that at a low friction, easy way. So that's really point number one. We'll go through what some of that looks like. Point number two is going to be the Google Business Profile. And I'm not sure if you guys know what that is or if you've seen that. If you have, just say something in the chat like, got my GBP filled out and optimized, or have no idea what Google Business Profile is. Let us know in the chat where you're at on that. But what that basically is really Google's biggest lever. If someone were to search martial arts in whatever city you're in, those top results are going to be dominated organically, not by ads, but the organic part in the maps section. And you can set all that stuff up in a thing called Google Business Profile. It's actually really easy to set up, but there's a lot of things you can do wrong, a lot of things you can do right. And it's something that is, according to Google themselves, it's probably the number one thing that ranks you on Google. So if you're a local business, there's a lot of ways to rank on Google if you're like writing a blog nationwide. And a lot of the SEO guys try and kind of incorporate that stuff into local businesses. This is not necessary. I've interviewed a bunch of SEO experts and
Yep.
also a bunch of business owners. And what we found is really the SEO for a website for a local business is really a couple things, like the basic SEO tags and stuff inside the website, which is pretty easy to set up. And then the Google Business Profile, which is also pretty easy to set up. There's a few things on there that you want to get right. And that those two things alone really will get your um, website ranked pretty high for legitimate searches for stuff that people are looking for, as far as like whether you teach martial arts or dance or music or whatever it is. And then the third thing, which is kind of part of that number two, is reviews and reputation management. So that's like, somebody leaving you a good or a bad review on Google or Facebook. Those things, the review part is actually built right into that Google business profile. It's kind of part of it. And there's some things you can do in there as far as how to optimize and get better rankings and better reviews as well. So those are the three things I want to talk through. Unscripted
Yeah,
and candidly.
and John, as you're kind of getting that together, so everybody that just came in and kind of recap again, I would encourage you guys to take notes, just like the training we did last week on automating all of your follow-up. And if you missed that, definitely reach out to me or check in the group. It's in there about how to automate all of your lead follow-up. It's going to connect to the website stuff today, but last week we took a lot of valuable notes because it was things you could take and apply. Today, I would recommend doing the same. So kind of give you guys a recap and people that are just joining in. Today, we want to talk about what a website should be and what it should look like, right? There's a lot of different templates. There's websites that have been around for years and years and years, and things have changed dramatically over the last couple of years as to what that should be. So what a website should be, what it should look like. Then we want to talk about that, everybody's favorite acronym, SEO. You've probably been told that term by the internet or by a sales guy or something. We're going to kind of dispel some myths about what SEO looks like in 2024 and beyond. And then we want to talk about reviews and reputation management, how we can make sure that those reviews, those actually going to be tied into your SEO as well. So websites are very review needed and driven right now. So those are really the three things: what it's for, SEO, and then reviews, and they're all going to kind of come together. So welcome the new people in. But John, do you want to, maybe we can just dive into our program called the Follow Up Ninja, our software, the Follow Up Ninja, you think?
Yeah.
Or where do you want to go with what a website should look like? And
Sure, let's do that. So that's a good idea. Why don't we jump into like one of the websites that is built into the Follow Up Ninja, so we can kind of show you some of the characteristics of it and the design and why it looks the way it looks, and kind of go from there. Sound good?
that sounds great.
I'm going to use Oceanside USSD because Derek is one of our superstars, and we know his website's working really well because he's always talking about it. If you're a member of the Student Magnet, you probably know Derek's name. But this is what our basic structure of our website looks like. So there's a couple things that I just want to point out. If you're building your own website, totally cool. If you're using the Follow Up Ninja to build your website, we have this sort of templated out, and then it's obviously very customizable. But essentially what you want to have here is obviously easy contact information up top. So you got phone number, which is clickable, address, which goes to maps, and then any of your socials up top. And then the biggest thing you want to have is a button that gives people something that would interest them. So if you have somebody searching, let's say martial arts in your area, if they said martial arts in Oceanside, a couple of things. There used to be ways to trick the search engine. So you could put like a bunch of keywords and hide it where it wasn't showing up on the page. You could just like, I forget what they called that, but it was like a hack. And then it was sort of like black hat where everybody did it, but the search engines weren't really that cool with it. And then one day they just flipped the switch and they were like, yeah, you can't do that anymore. And it just totally destroyed a bunch of SEO businesses because all they were doing was hacking the system. And when they took that away, what they did was they changed it to be taking the data and taking the stuff from the actual page. So this is why we put stuff like this, probably serving your area. These cities will actually feed into that SEO as well. But the big thing here is this button that says get a free week pass. If somebody's looking for martial arts in Oceanside or Vista, and they're maybe visiting a few websites, the first one that they're going to put their information into is going to be something that has this button with a term called above the fold. Maybe you've heard above the fold before. What that actually refers to is like old school in when you would send somebody a sales letter, it would be folded into an envelope. And the call to action needed to be above that first fold. So when you open the envelope, you could see right away, what is my call to action? So on a website, above the fold means when you load the site up, it shows up at least below where you don't have to scroll anywhere. And so this is really
the important part of that right now is, and sorry to cut you off, John.
No.
The important part in today's day and age is time and attention are the most valuable commodity.
Oh
So if
yeah.
we have a website that's like super wordy and has all kinds of lineage and all that, there's a place for that. And there's not that that's not valuable and important. But if a mom or somebody goes to a website, we need to get something above the fold immediately for them to take action. And that action needs to be at least us collecting their contact information.
Right.
Because if we don't collect their contact information, they may be super interested, but they may have something came up and then they forgot about it. And then, yeah, they visited our site, but we have no way of actually following up with them to remind them that they were interested in something. So we need something to grab their attention right away. That doesn't mean we don't have other information available for people that want to dig deeper. But if mom jumps on here and she's like, "Oh, this looks good," and then Johnny just, hit his sister in the face, which is why he needs martial arts discipline or dance or whatever to teach him, structure and discipline.
Yeah.
She leaves the computer or she closes the window and then she totally forgets about it. Well, that's just a lost opportunity. And then she Googles another martial arts or dance or whatever again, and then she finds another website, a different company, and then it just kind of goes on like that. So we need something that's going to grab them right away. And then as they go through the process, they can get more and more information. People that are digging information or looking for lots of information, they will open doors to get it. People that are curious, we need to kind of open the door for them immediately so we can get them to walk through.
Exactly. That's a much better market to get to anyway, which is the more curious sort of top of the funnel. Some marketers would call that. I like to just call it like very early or curious, like you said, Travis, where they don't really know a whole lot about whatever you teach. And you could be the first place they get in contact with, the first place they ever set foot in, and stay there for life. And so those are really, really valuable people to get in touch with, but you have to really get their contact information early. There's an old expression that says own your list. And if you're doing marketing, especially if you're paying to get people, like if you're running Google ads and you're running them to your website, or even if you're running Facebook ads to your website, which I don't really recommend. We use lead forms, by the way. But if you are running ads, spending money to get people to your website, you want to get that contact information, because the only way you own that list, the only way you get a return on that investment is if you can contact them more than one time. And of course, you could do retargeting, which is a little cheaper in ads, but the key really is to get their contact information. So you want to make it easy for them. Name, email, phone number. So if somebody were to come to the site and click this button, that's all they're going to see. Name, email, phone number. And once we have that information, then we own the list, right? So we can text them, we can email them, we can call them, and we don't have to pay for ads to do that.
Yep.
So really that's
and we can automate all that too.
Exactly.
Which
Which that's what we talked about last week. Right? For sure.
Yep. Go back to last week, because then you can automate that follow-up. So that way you're only dealing with people that are scheduling times or asking questions. So if your website is really wordy at the top and has a lot going on, I would recommend siphoning it down to, hey, here's where we are, here's what we do, right? All things are possible. And then here's an offer that you can take advantage of right now. That needs to be at that top of the fold, really that top third. And always check your mobile, see if it's going to be right there on that screen without me having to scroll. Because again, the whole idea is we want to catch that right away. We don't have to scroll right now to take action, right?
Right.
Which is an important factor. So,
Yep. And people will look, people might scroll through this stuff, or they may not. A lot of people will land here, and with the file opens, you can actually see the time it takes for them to land on the site and click a link and open a window and fill out a form. So what you'll see most of the time is a pretty quick, like, you land here, you click the button, you fill out the form, and then you're in the automations. So, we spend a lot of time putting this stuff together as the school owner. We're, passionate about what we do. We care a lot about it. But quite frankly, most people will just land and opt right in.
John, can you actually scroll down a little bit more too? To kind of continue with that idea of we want people to take action, right? Okay, well, what if we want class information? Okay, they can get class information. There's plenty of class information here, but notice how the class information is still promoting an offer that they can take advantage of.
Exactly.
Right.
And it's going to pop up that same.
Yeah, it's going to cause that same pop-up. So now, okay, they have youth classes. Okay, these are the classes they have. Usually the question someone has is, what classes do they have? They don't necessarily need a 5-paragraph explanation of that class. Some people do, but a majority of people just want to know what class. Hey, do they do kids or they do adults? Like those are that's the main question. They've gotten that information here. So now that they have that information, we can still take advantage of, hey, they got the information they want. Now they're ready to take action. Again, it doesn't
Definitely.
mean that people that want more info can't get it. We just understand that people that want more info will continue to look for more info. Where the early people, hey, we just want to grab them while they're interested.
Right. Exactly. And to that point too, um, if people are looking for more information, Travis and I have a kind of a mantra: conversations over conversions. I'd much rather have a conversation with somebody to answer their questions in a way that meets their expectations as opposed to sending them to a page to just let the page tell them about it. So if they do have, if they're a knowledge seeker, their natural inclination is going to be to click around on these menu buttons up here anyway. So if they want to know more about the programs, they can do that. They want to know more about the instructors, they can do that. If they want to know more about the schedule, they can do that. Contact information, they can do that. But a typical person may have one or two questions. I'd much rather have them request the free week. Let me automate a response to them that says, hey, here's your free week. It starts tomorrow. When do you want to come in? And then have them reply back and go, what's the youngest age student that can come in? I'd rather have that conversation, because if I can have that conversation, I know that I can guide them to come into the school in a much better way than a website page can do. There's more reciprocity involved in a conversation, right? If you're just reading a website, you can easily just click this little X up at the top and close it, and then you're away from the website. But if you're in a text message, I'm in their phone now, right? If you're in an email, you're in their phone. So you don't have to disappear. They can close the message, but you can just pop right back up in their phone. So it's much better to start a conversation than to just try and get conversions, than to try and get all the questions answered. I think one mistake that a lot of school owners make, and it makes sense, like there's a lot of gurus out there, there's a lot of people out there that say you should automate everything and you should do all this pre-qualification so that you're only talking to the best people. And I agree to that to a certain extent, but there's some things that you don't need to know before you actually open up a conversation. Like, who's this for? Is this for you or a child? That's a question I'd rather have once I already have their information, as opposed to, a lot of times you'll see that on an opt-in form. It'll say, where should we send you a free week? It might even have some of the same stuff, but then it'll say, how old's the student? Is this for you or a child? And you want to get there. I understand the desire to get all that information up front so you can just contact them and save you the time of that conversation. But the reality is, we have to think of it from their perspective. They just want to fill this thing out as fast as possible. You get more than about 4 questions on there, and this pops up. It looks like a big long survey, and it's much easier to click the X. And so that's why we get those questions in after the fact.
Yep. Perfect. Yeah. And then if they do have questions, if someone does want to ask a question, it's easy to integrate a chat bot, which you see right there. Which, again, this chat bot is not an AI chat bot where it's going to try to have a conversation with them. We've all been victim of a chat bot that you start talking to, and then once you realize it's a computer, it's like a negative feeling. You're like, oh, I thought I was talking to somebody.
It's iRobot.
We don't
turn into Will Smith.
It's terrible. So we don't want that to be how they interact with you. We don't want them to be like, oh, this isn't even, it's just a bad taste. So again, if someone has a question, cool, send me a question. Just give me your name and phone number so I can get back to you with an answer. Right. And then that way, again, we've collected their name and information so we can have that conversation. So that's really kind of that framework, right, of what a website really is designed to do. Again, if someone wants to know more, they can click on programs. There'll be information. If they want to look at the schedule, they want to schedule an appointment, all that stuff is available. But on the front end, we really just need quick, clean, action-taken opportunities. Even if you go over to like the schedule page, if you click on schedule, John, everywhere on your site, there should be an action-taking opportunity. Right now, the Oceanside actually has their schedule, which is fine. That's totally fine. I actually would say
I would prefer not to have it.
Yeah, I would prefer not to have it there, just because, again, I want to have a conversation and I don't want to create objections. A lot of people put all their information. This is how many times we meet. This is how much it costs. This is, how much you need to weigh to be in this program, all these types of things. And it's like, well, maybe they're just interested, but then they see, oh, it's Thursdays at 7. Ooh, can we do Thursdays? We have Bible study on Thursdays. I don't know. I don't know. I'll just look at this later. And then they leave. Right. Whereas right now, we just want to collect their information. So, okay, you want to check out our schedule? Cool. Book a free trial week. And then when John clicks on that, it's going to ask for their name information. And then when they give that, it's going to take them to a calendar of the availability of when they can come in.
Right.
So again, everything that you have on your website should be prompting them to take action. If there's a page with schedule or instructors or programs, there needs to be some type of call to action on that page too, because once they get the information they're looking for, we want them to have a nice, easy way to take action. Just like on that homepage where it showed the classes, they just wanted to see if they had kids classes. Okay, now let's give them an action step. And it just really needs to be casually in kind of every aspect of information giving spread throughout the site.
100%. 100%. Why don't we get some questions? You guys have questions about optimizing the website, questions about the design aspect of things? That's kind of pillar number one we're talking to right now is um, the designing it to convert and designing it to enroll students and not just slapping something together. You know, anybody can build a
Yeah.
website these days. It's pretty easy.
And you can
go
build,
on.
I've seen beautiful websites
Mhm.
that get no students.
Right.
They're gorgeous, but
Yeah.
there's just so many bells and whistles and so much going on. I asked the school owner and they're like, yeah, I love it. It's a great website. We spent a lot of money on it. Okay, how many students does it enroll?
Right.
It doesn't really enroll anybody. Well, then you
Nobody.
don't need it.
Right.
Right.
What's the
John, if
purpose
you
of
go
it?
back to home as we talk about design, and again, if people have questions, please, we have a lot of people in here, so please
We do, yeah.
make sure you post your questions. I got all the channels up. So, but John, if you could scroll down, one thing with design as well is you want to make sure you're using images from your school.
Yes.
Stock photos look awful.
Yep.
It looks salesy. And on top of that, like even this background image right there is that school, right? I'm
Right.
not,
Yeah.
the one on the
Down here.
bottom of the
Yep.
testimonial.
Mhm.
So we want to use, because when people come in, if you have images of black uniforms and you wear red uniforms, they're going to be like, am I in the right place? Again, is that the
Right.
first feeling we want people to have when they walk into a place, right? They want to
Yes.
know what Master Johnson looks like, right? Or they want to know, okay, here's what, man, these are the kids in the class. Like, oh, I saw that kid on the website. It just creates a nice sense of community. So as you design, make sure you're designing. It doesn't need to be professional photos. They want to look nice,
Nice
but at
photos.
the same time, yeah, go ahead, John.
I was just saying nice photos, not stock photos. I'm just
Right.
reiterating. Yeah, for sure.
Yep.
For
So
sure.
Ashley
And
wants to know, do you recommend we have a different website for current students with updated information, events, curriculum, testing information?
really good
Yeah, there's a
idea.
couple different things, and John, feel free to cut me off. You could very easily at the top of this, and the way that Follow Up Ninja builds websites is super easy. In like 30 seconds, you can create a whole new page and a whole new menu where it says like current students,
Yep.
and then that could actually take them to a member portal that has
Yes.
all that information.
That's how
So
I would
that's
do
really
it.
easy to build inside of ours. That's how I would do it. Just it keeps clean, that way everything's at greenbaykarate.com. I don't need
Yep.
to be like, well, now you're a member, so you need to know this new website, right?
Yeah.
And just keeps all your stuff clean. And that way you can automate communication like we talked about last week too. If you have information for events and curriculum, you can kind of automate that promotion and follow up and tracking your students as well, if it's all kind of built into the same place.
Yeah, totally. I would do it with the membership portal. It's something that you can build right inside of the Follow Up Ninja. And then you would just add a little link here that says current students or login or something like that. And that way you protect some of that stuff behind a login so that strangers aren't just popping in there. Your competition isn't trying to pop in there and see things. Like if you put up tournament fees or whatever kind of stuff, you can put it behind a login to where it's already current students. And that's not actually shown on your public facing website. Yeah. Liz, you can put that on you can use your current URL. Absolutely. You can transfer it over. Or you can keep two sites. We have some school owners that have a site that they like the look of, but they want to test out the Follow Up Ninja and see if it's a good, if it's going to actually convert more.
Right.
We see plenty of school owners that will like just buy another website that says like, atlantadance.com or atlantakarate.com
Yep.
or atlantamusic.com, something like that. And then put that
A
temporarily.
lot of franchises use that too. A
Mhm.
lot of I have this franchise like Premier Martial Arts, they have like the site that's required by their corporate.
Right.
You can then get another website that says, Self Defense Atlanta or whatever, or like John said, Dance Atlanta. And then what's really great is actually just run Google ad traffic to that site because that site is
Right.
optimized for Google ads.
Exactly.
And then now you're like, anytime someone searches your area for you're popping up twice. They don't know it, but you're kind of coming up twice. So there is some kind of nuance there that could be an advantage. You don't need to do that, but it's definitely some things that more advanced school owners do to try to optimize their presence online.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Any other questions?
Andy wants to know, how would you promote one-off events on the website, like a free self? Well, that's the nice thing about like one-off events, seasonal events, things like that. That's one great thing about building a site in something like the Follow Up Ninja,
Right.
is it literally takes 30 seconds, Andy, to create a new menu at the top, a new menu item where it says like home and programs, and you can just add like, parent night out or self-defense classes or whatever it is. Then it links to a page that takes 5 minutes to set up. And then you just, when you're done with it, you just go in there and take 30 seconds to remove that menu item. So it's very, very easy when you have a builder like this.
Right. Exactly. I want to just highlight a membership portal that one of our members built. Mr. Young, hope he doesn't mind me sharing. I'm not going to get into the curriculum part, but Mr. Young has gone in and set up a way for students to sign in to the website. So this is what the membership portal would look like. So they would click on login and they'd be in this library where they have all these different things they can do. So they can learn their creed. They can find out the meanings. They can see their belt progression. They can see the rules. And then they have all these different lessons that they can go through. And each one of these is I'm not going to click into it because this is Master Young's, proprietary thing, but he has a lot of trainings already built in here. And it's really a very valuable thing. My goodness, I wish we would have had something like that when my son was in Taekwondo. It was so hard to find the forms he had to learn for his belt testing, and there'd be so much stress in the house. Like, are you doing this right? Is that the right way to do this? Is this is that front kick the right number one front kick, number two front kick? Is this person on YouTube doing it right even? So it would have been great to have something like that. And it's super easy to set up. It's pretty much templated out.
Yeah, yeah. And then even like for dance, like if you have a performance or maybe even tournament for martial arts, like, hey, certain things that people need to do that you want to hammer home before that big event, it's a great way to do that. Emma wanted to know, hey, is this something where I need to build every single page? Well, it depends. If you use kind of like your own thing, probably. If you use something like the Follow Up Ninja, we already have all this stuff templated out where you literally just go in and put in all your information, and it's going to populate a website in a few minutes. And then it probably would take you about 10 minutes to go in and kind of customize it and tweak a couple things here and there. You could really have a fully functional website like this that looks like this, that has these automations, all that stuff built in. And what would you say, 30 minutes, John? Potentially an hour if you're a little bit more technologically declined.
Yeah. Somebody asked
me personally, I would never build anything from scratch. It takes a really, really long time. Anything you do, I would definitely get into something that already has some framework. Follow Up Ninja has a ton of framework for you, and it's already been proven and tested. Like, we know this works for student enrollment.
For student enrollment specifically, exactly. Right. So
and then
somebody asked
if it was.
That's okay. Somebody asked if it was only for karate. We also have a dance template, music template. It's all very templated, so you can see the similarities here. But also, it's very customizable. So for a dance school, it's going to look like this. You can see the color is different. Like, Derek's got a lot of red in his. This one has blue. Craig has blue and yellow. So it's very customizable. And it's templated for student enrollment. So if you teach classes of some sort, whether it's karate, whether it's dance, whether it's music, whatever it is, then that's what the site is really optimized for. So hopefully that answers that question.
Yep.
Got a lot of questions rolling in now. All right.
Well, and so Jason wanted to know, can you have the option of people to sign waivers? Absolutely. You can have,
Yep.
It does have signature capture. And the nice thing when you have people sign waivers is it can email a copy to you, email a copy to them automatically, which is really, really good. You can automate the waiver process. So if someone becomes a new student or they book an appointment, you can automate that waiver being sent to them ahead of time, which makes it really, really nice. So yeah, some school owners do that when they want to automate that process. Super easy to do, easy to set up. And then that's really it for questions about the site. Emma's got a question, but I'll shoot her a note here separately. If you wanted to keep asking questions about the format of the site, we're happy to. But I think just for the people's time and value, we've talked about what a website should be, what it should look like.
Yep.
What about this? And don't get too into the weeds, John, because I know you love it. You get excited about it.
I do.
But the SEO and the Google Business Profile.
Yeah. So Google Business Profile, there's a few kind of main parts of the Google Business Profile, and I'll try to stay out of the weeds as much as I can. But let me just pull up my kind of notes here for Google Business Profile, if I can get over to it. The main thing is having that Google Business Profile actually set up. Where is my want to go through my actual Google business profile. I had it pulled up and then I lost it. So give me one sec.
It's all good. And as John's pulling that up, someone asked in the group yesterday when I kind of posted about this training, is they talked about SEO and they wanted to know, about the keywords and all that kind of stuff. And those things are important. They're just not as important as they were 10 years ago. 10
Right.
years ago, SEO was very like, hey, I need to hire someone to blog and all these kinds of things. Really, in the last not just 2 years, but even the last 6 months, like correct me if I'm wrong, John, Google Business Profile in the last 6 months has made a lot of changes as far as verified businesses, how they handle photos and things like that, that actually are going to supersede your need for SEO.
Yeah.
Really, in this case, SEO is really only needed if you're looking at kind of a national business or like a statewide business or something
Yeah.
like that. If you're a local business, which everybody in here probably is, you don't need to go hire someone for SEO. If you set up Google Business Profile correctly, that's going to take care of 99% of what SEO would have done at this point.
For sure. For sure. You still able to see my screen there? Just want to make sure I'm not
Yeah, I see
blocking
the
it.
dance website. Yep.
Okay, cool. So Google Business Profile used to be called Google My Business. If you're familiar, remember that. So there's a couple things. The first thing is making sure that you actually have your listing. So if you Google basically the name of your business and your town, you should see your Google Business Profile pop up. I'm gonna type in one that I know for sure I have ownership over. Gander Builders. Frank. This is a friend of mine who owns a completely different kind of business. But so this is what a Google business profile looks like now. So you can see it takes up quite a bit of real estate over on the right-hand side of a search page. And then you can see that I manage this business profile. And so because of this, I can actually go in and make edits on it. So I can change photos and I can go in and edit stuff in this little pop-up here. This used to be even way more complicated. Now it's actually pretty simple. They've kind of made it into a wizard where you kind of set all these different things up. So you've got your contact information, location, hours, and all sorts of stuff here. But there's certain ways to set this up that are really going to optimize it to show up in a way. There's certain settings on here that you want to make sure you have set up the correct way. So the first thing is really just getting that profile set up. Make sure you own it. If you don't own, sometimes Google will pick up on the business, but it will say there's no Google business profile set up for it. You can claim it. And really, it's just a process of them kind of mailing you a postcard to prove that you actually can get mail at that address. And it's a pretty easy process. But claim your business profile if you haven't already. And then
they've actually updated it, John, in the last few weeks. They ask you to go out to the street address and take a video.
That's right. You know what? I remember because we just did that for our church when we moved. I had to have Todd record a video. So yep, you're right. So I wasn't sure if that was everybody or if it was just because we were moving. So that's cool to know. So yeah, super easy to set up. It's very kind of widgeted and the way that Google walks you through it. So that's number one, is getting that thing created, getting it set up and optimized. There are some settings in there that I won't get into the weeds on, but if you want more information on that, just let us know and we can help point you in the direction of some resources. The second thing is optimizing the images. So we have a friend actually that owns a like a pottery. What is that? What would you call that? The Pierce Collective. They like make
like an art studio.
Art studio. Yeah. So it's kind of the same scenario as a karate school.
They need students.
School. They need students, right? They teach pottery. And so the owner there was getting frustrated with her employees because she was like, they were posting pictures on their Google business profile and it would just have like this long name. It would be like ACXYBM213 for the name of the file. And Google, the search engine, actually picks up on the name of the photo. So if you type, 7-year-old painting a pot at Pierce Collective, if somebody searches Pierce Collective classes, those pictures are going to show up because the search engine is smart. So optimizing the images, naming them. There's actually a really specific way you can name the images, which is so strange to me, but the way that Google's designed by computer programmers, and it's really, it caters to those guys. So there's a specific way you can name the photos to actually get them to rank better too on Google for SEO purposes. And then there is, obviously the verification process, which is going out and taking the videos. Having a frequently asked questions, though, is probably one of the top things that people miss. And if you don't know this already, let me see if I can find. I wonder if Derek who's somebody that I know has set this up. Trying to think.
You can go to VIP Concrete Incoming because I just set one up for a friend incoming.
Did you? I'd like to show I think.
Okay, yeah. I'm not sure. Probably. I mean, I would imagine Derek has set it up, but can't guarantee. As John's looking into that, the whole idea is Google basically wants things to work well with Google. And they figured out that SEO people are just kind of doing their own thing and it doesn't necessarily work natively with Google. Google wants you to stay in Google. So they want you to look at Google reviews. They want you to go to Google Maps. They want you to look at Google FAQs. They want to do all of that. They want you to stay here. So the more we can do to have people to stay here, then Google is going to naturally, that's why SEO has changed. They're going to naturally increase that search result because their algorithm is like, hey, when people interact with this business, they spend more time on Google. So that's what they're going to optimize naturally because things are set up like that.
Yeah, I'm trying to find Derek's listing and see if he set his up. Nope. See, even our guys, they're getting traffic and they haven't even fully optimized. So there's this thing on Google Business Profile and it's funny. Derek's site actually gets him a lot of students, but this would probably help quite a bit because this will rank it up a little higher. If you notice, the first time I searched, his wasn't the first to show up. But if we go in here and we look at this question and answers, as the owner of the business, you can still ask a question and then answer it right away. So we have some kind of like scripted questions that we like to answer. And it's not so much to answer the question for people, but really what it does is it quenches the SEO search. So if you have some certain questions, for instance, what age groups can participate in class? And then you answer that question, we teach children ages blah 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 to this and this group, and then this age to that group, and adults are on this side. If you have those answers already questioned and answered out on this, when someone searches dance for 7-year-olds near me, your Q&A that you've already preset up will rank your site higher than someone else who doesn't have that set up. This is one of the biggest things that people miss, and it's so easy to do. You literally click this button, you ask the question, and then because you're the owner, it knows and it lets you answer it right away. And so it's such an easy thing to do, and it is so valuable for search ranking, because in a local search, if you were to search karate, let's see, giving Derek a little karate in Oceanside, California. You see this thing is called the Power Pack right here. Derek's not in it. So he's getting a lot of traffic to his site, but having the Q&A set up correctly, optimizing that business profile better, according to the way that we've shown him how to do it, would probably get him in this top 3. When a busy person is searching for something, karate in Oceanside, California, what they're going to do is they're going to probably search something like that. And then they're going to look at one of these top 3 businesses, and they're probably going to pick the one that has the best reviews. If they all have 5-star reviews, the next thing you're going to look at is either how close are they to my house, or they're going to click on it to see what people are actually saying in the reviews.
Yep.
And that's really the thing. So that kind of leads us to that third part, is getting
transition,
reviews.
John.
How about that? Wasn't even scripted. They'll look at who has more reviews. And I'm sure you guys do this too. If you look at 3 restaurants and one has 15 reviews and one has 150 reviews, if they're both 5-star, like this one has 19, that one has 19. So I'd probably be looking at these 2 and going, all right, let's see, what's this one? Let me see some pictures of the school. What does it look like? This guy might look mean. Maybe I don't want to go to him. I want like a nicer person. This is the kind of stuff that people do, right? I clicked on the same one again, but you get it. So the reviews are extremely important. Getting reviews, it can be a little clumsy if you don't have an easy way for people to do it. If you just say, hey, can you leave me a review on Google? People will be like, yeah, sure, no problem. And then they walk out the door and they take 5 seconds to pull up and see, I don't know how to leave a review, and then they forget. Or
They got to look, they got to Google it. They can't find it, or they leave a
Right.
review for the wrong
The wrong
business.
place. I've
That's
seen that.
happened before.
Oh my gosh. Maybe
You've
you've gotten
probably
a
been
bad
good.
review.
Yeah. You ever been a victim of the wrong place being so, and then you get into a situation, unfortunately, and this is what we talked about the automation training. You get into a situation where you feel like you're pestering them because
Right.
they said they would leave you a review. It's been 3 days. They
Yeah.
haven't left you a review. So you want to ask them again. And they're like, oh, yeah, I'll do it today. And they don't do it that day. And they're like, oh, they said they were going to do it. And I could really use the review, but
Right.
I mean, do I want to ask them again? Like, and then it becomes this like kind of weird scenario, right?
Yes.
So being able to get reviews, get that reputation management automated is really the key. So what does that look like, John?
So it's a couple things. You can set up, you can actually get your Google review. You can get a link directly from Google. I'm going to see if I can find one inside one of our accounts here. Let me see. I wonder if Derek has his set up. You can see we're completely unscripted here and a little bit unprepared, but bear with us for a second. So you can actually get a direct link to your Google review to where when someone clicks it, it just takes them straight to the form to actually ask for the review. I'm going to see if I can find one. Do you know of one off the top of your head, Travis?
I mean, I would just pull up the Gander because you can get to the review request, right?
You can, but there's yeah. So here,
I think right now let's just show them how to get to the review request
Yeah.
link. And then Ashley actually asked a good question. Can we set up a QR code for that? Which is
Yes, you
you
can.
absolutely can.
For sure.
And again, I love where Ashley's thinking. She's thinking about automation, right? Hey, how can I set up a QR code to make this happen naturally?
Right. Okay. So there you go. So if you own the site, you see this button that says get more reviews. And then you can take this link right here, review link. And if you click this, it'll just copy it. And I don't know if it'll let me do it because I'm signed in.
Try to go, if you go incognito, that might work too.
It does. Yep, there we go. So you can see it just opened it straight up to the point where they can just click how many stars and leave the review. They can put photos or whatever, but that link takes them straight to the review. And so if you wanted to make a QR code from this, where was it, Travis? It was over here in the settings.
Go to settings. Yep, in Google Chrome.
Yep. So if you're using Google Chrome, yep, save and share right here. And then I don't know if you can see that. It's off the side of my screen, but there's a
we can't see it, but there's a sub menu there that says create QR
create
code.
QR code. Yep. And once you do that, then it just, I wonder if it'll just so we can see it. Can you see that pop up? Nope, still can't see it.
No, still off to the side.
Yeah. Anyway, it's underneath this. It's in the settings for Google Chrome, share and save, create QR code. When you do that, you'll see this QR code pop up. Do you see that?
No.
Don't see the pop up.
Zoom might protect it or something.
But
it's that simple. You click on that, it pops right up.
Right. Right. Exactly.
And then you can download it from there, print it out, add it to something. It's also something you can automate. You can take that QR code, put it in an email or the link in an email,
right?
Text message, all that kind of stuff.
Exactly. Cool. More questions? Any other questions about let's see, we covered a lot. We covered the design so that it's optimized for non friction conversion. We talked about the Google business profile, getting that set up, getting it optimized, some of the steps involved in that, and then the reviews. And I guess part of the reviews too would be reputation management. So making sure that you're consistently asking people for reviews on an automated way, and then responding to every review, positive or negative, in a way that's diplomatic. So a lot of times people get a negative review and then they go on there and they go, I don't even know you. You've never set foot in my place, or your kid's a terror. You know, I've seen some really bad responses to reviews. You always want to be diplomatic if you're responding to a bad review. If somebody says, you know, this instructor was mean and the best way to respond to that is not to ignore it, but to get in there and to say, hey, I'm really sorry that you had that experience. You know, I do, and obviously you want to have reached out to them and tried to resolve it and tried to get them to actually remove it in the first place. But if they refuse to, if you really are in a troubled situation, some people just get off on leaving negative reviews for some reason. If you get into a situation like that, just a reply that says, you know, I'm really sorry you had that experience. It's not, you know, indicative of how we normally do things. And, we're doing our best to try and make it up to you, and just have we have some scripts for that as well, and how to respond to those negative reviews. But off the top of my head, that's basically the sentiment, is just getting in there and being diplomatic. And really it's for, what's that old expression? In the debate, you don't convince your opponent, you convince the audience, right? And so really that's
Right.
what you're doing with the review reply, is just saying to the other people, look, this person, they have their opinion. This is who we really are. This is the way we handle things, even in conflict. And that's good. And then obviously for positive reviews too, you want to make sure you gush back over in a very personal way to make sure that people see that you're paying attention to those reviews, because that will also rank you up higher. Having more replies to the reviews,
Right.
that's one of the factors in Google search engine optimization is, do they reply to the reviews? Are they managing the reviews?
Yep.
Cool. All right. Any
Well,
other
I think that, I mean,
questions?
those are the big three things. Hey, our website needs to be something that people take action. It needs to be clean and something that people can take advantage of. We need to make sure that our SEO and Google Business Profile, which Google Business Profile is the SEO, and then with that SEO, review management, and really automating that review management and that reputation management, because it's a nightmare to just continuously beg people to give reviews and create all these incentives. Let's just send them a nice, easy way to do it, because people like you. People appreciate what you're doing. Your
Right.
students love your classes. Let's make it easy for them to leave a review, because they're doing us the favor, right? So,
Exactly.
if there's any other questions, please go ahead and chat them in. Again, I have all my command center here, lots of questions that you guys have had already, which are great. The biggest question I think that's come across is it's kind of all together. Emma asked, "Hey, is this something I need to build page by page?
Hmm.
How do I automate this? Like, what's a good system to automate?" Someone had asked, "How do I get the the Google Business Profile?" That looked easy, but it really would be nice to have a step-by-step process for that,
Yep.
because there are some things I'm not like, and I'm gonna send you some message a little bit later, Liz. Liz is having
Hmm.
some trouble with the Q&A section, right? So how do I make this seamless so I'm not getting frustrated with it? Um, so those are kind of the last few questions I've seen. If people have more, but John, those are kind of all kind of together.
Yeah, yeah, totally. So why don't we get into, I know there we probably have a pretty good 50-50 split on people who already are using the Follow Up Ninja and those who are not. So I prepared a couple of just key things about the Follow Up Ninja that people should know. So if you're using the Follow Up Ninja, this might be eye-opening to some things that it does that you're not aware of. And for you, those of you who are not using it, this will be exciting for you to see all the stuff that it does. So really what it's about is getting you more students, harnessing automations, getting a flow of new students signing up every month, helping you get students within that first 30 days, and without getting bogged down in any of the technical stuff, and without paying thousands of dollars. There's a lot of different softwares out there. There's a lot of different things that you can use. But what you get with the or with the Follow Up Ninja is what we call our plug and play automations. So this is the exact automations that we use all over the country. It comes pre-installed with our winning follow-up automations. So you don't have to program anything. You don't have to go in and do anything. There's a couple of fields you fill out to customize it. It's not cookie cutter. It's very templated, but our automations are built in and they're customized messages so that they convey to the culture of your school. And it works through multiple source support. So like if you have leads coming in from your website and leads coming in from Facebook and leads coming in from Instagram and Messenger and Google Business Profile Chat and all these different ways, the automations pull it all together in one conversation and help you keep track of, where all that stuff is coming from. And then you can respond in those same channels seamlessly. So what's really nice about that is someone might chat to you in Google Business Profile, and then they put their phone number in, and then you start texting with each other, or maybe they call you and email you. All of that is kind of lined up. Well, it's not kind of, it's lined up all in one section called conversation. So you can really see the full flow of that journey for that lead. And this is really good for any type of school owner. So if you teach classes of any type, it works for established schools. If you've been around a long time, it works for new schools, large schools, small schools who want to grow. And some of the things that we hear when people first hear about the Follow Up Ninja is that you have to be tech savvy, or they're worried they have to build this all out. You don't need any tech skills to do this. Essentially, you're just filling out some forms, clicking a few buttons, and the setup process is extremely easy. It's about 90% automatic. So you basically fill out a form. And we do offer full-time support too, because if you get stuck, if you're really that technically non-savvy, it's okay. We do support calls a couple of times a week. We're here just in case. But even the most tech challenged people that I've ever met, and I've met, we've worked closely with probably 500 plus school owners. Most school owners didn't get into teaching karate or martial arts or dance or music because they were like great on computers. So most of the school owners we know are pretty tech challenged, which is great. And they say it's easy. So what you get, the plug and play automations, we valued this out. We did a bunch of research to see what people are charging just to build automations for you. And most of the softwares and the programs that we found are valued at about $2,000 a year. In that, we're giving you the exact templates that we already know are proven that we use all over the country, pre-installed with our follow-up automations, non-cookie cutter, customized messages. But you're also going to get these additional tools. So the mobile app that we have, you can actually manage all of those conversations I talked about with your leads on a mobile device. It's just like texting. And you're able to delegate this to a program director or a manager or a front desk person. You can have multiple staff members using the same platform. You can even, if you really wanted to get fancy, you could like assign different leads to different people. Typically, we don't need to do that, but if you really wanted to get fancy, you could. But you can all manage the conversations. You can set appointments. You can do calls, call recordings, text, emails, social messengers, all in one app, which makes it very, very easy. And also, you're able to see that entire journey like we talked about. So you can see no matter where the lead came from, you're getting all of it into one simple to follow conversation. You can be really personable and responsive if you want to. You can also let a lot of the automations handle most of the conversation, but it's really the bottom line is it gets people into the school very fast, very easy. So you can stop struggling to manage all those different ways of attracting people. You can avoid confusion. You're never going to miss a text or a call or an email because it all comes through that same channel. And you can do what you really want to do, which is spend more time teaching class. And you'll be able to get rid of spending thousands of dollars. I just talked to, I think it was Liz who's on here, was spending a ton of money on a bunch of hodgepodge of a bunch of unconnected softwares, like texting on this one, emailing with this one, automating with this one, website over here. It pulls it all together, puts it all in one place. You don't have to do all this relentless follow-up with almost zero return because most of it is automated. You're only really talking to the people who are most interested in coming into your school, trying out classes, and you're not going to be begging people because you're only going to be responding to people who are already interested. You don't have to be calling and texting and emailing and messaging and wasting time researching and doing all this stuff trying to figure out how to do it. You're not going to have to spend any time or money on setting up all these automations or paying somebody thousands of dollars to set it up for you. We've solved that problem for you because I know that most of you are probably not sitting in front of a computer all day. This is probably the longest you're going to sit in front of a computer all day is with us on this webinar right now. We know that, but we all have smartphones. And so that's why we added this mobile app because I'm certain you're capable of texting. Our developers spent years simplifying this app down to the core features. You know, when it first came out, it was a little clunky and we beta tested it for a long time. Technically, it's still in beta test, but it's working very, very well now. And so we found most of our members just want to be able to do a couple things on their phones. They want to be able to reply to texts and emails, answer calls, and make calls from the same numbers of text. That's a huge one. I just had somebody the other day that we were setting up his account, and he was like, I don't know if I want to do these automation texts because people call that number and it leads nowhere. And I was like, oh, no, that's no problem. We just forward it right to your phone. So it's great. If the automation texts someone and they're like, I just want to talk, and they call it back, it forwards it right to your phone. And if you reply back inside the app, it's all from the same number. You're not in multiple channels. There's no confusion there. You can schedule your intro lessons there, and you can see upcoming appointments. And that's exactly what the Follow Up Ninja is designed to do, saving you time and money. You don't have to figure it all out. You don't have to build anything or be tech savvy. You don't have to go through a bunch of trial and error. You can have the freedom to respond to only the most interested leads. And there's so much value in that. And you can do it when it's convenient for you. And so our mobile app, most mobile apps are about $10 a month. So we valued that at about $120 a year for a total value of $2,120. But I'm starting to feel like that. Should I do this with an Australian accent? That's not, I can't even do an Australian accent. My apologies to my friends in Australia. Reputation and review management. So we talked a lot about this too. The reputation and review management's built into the Follow Up Ninja. It's such an easy thing to do, but it's also very easy to neglect, just getting reviews from happy students. And even worse is not responding to the negative or the fake reviews or people who respond the wrong way. Right. We talked a lot about that already. You don't have to worry about it. We're going to give you this automated review management system so you can avoid all that trial and error, no costly mistakes. And in fact, we have a way to automatically ask for reviews from unhappy students and easily respond to those fake or negative reviews inside the Follow Up Ninja. And you can just focus on teaching your school. We also have been testing a AI replies that automatically can give you a script. So it will automatically reply if you wanted to, but you can also set it to just give you a suggestion. So when you see a review, you see this little suggestion that says, here's how you should reply. And then you click it and you can kind of edit it to make it feel more personable. So that's a pretty neat tool that we've been working on, still kind of in testing. But this is going to make it so much easier and faster for you to grow your school, because those reviews also pop right into that conversation tab. So when you're seeing a text and an email, and maybe you send them the request to review link, and then you'll see the review actually pop right into that conversation as well. So it's just so seamless. Reviews are probably the most powerful factor for people to reference when they're looking for a school. And I was reading a study recently that said 84% of people trust the reviews of strangers as much as their friends. That is an insane stat to me, but people that do studies are smarter than me, and that's what they figured out. And I guess I can relate to that, because if there's a restaurant that Travis recommends to me, I still go on and look at the reviews. And he's a food snob. Like, I trust his opinion on a restaurant probably over anybody. But if I see bad reviews, I'm going to be like, are you sure, man? Because this place has some bad reviews. It's never happened because, of course, he is a food snob. But I do look at those. More positive reviews means more students. With the reputation review and management, you might be thinking maybe you don't have time to do this. You don't want to ask people for reviews. It's not an issue. The Follow Up Ninja does about 90% of this for you automatically. So what you're going to get, just as a quick recap, is the plug and play automations valued at about $2,000 a year, the mobile app valued at $120 a year, and then the reputation review management. I actually priced this out too. Last week, I was looking at all these different softwares and services that do reputation review management. It's all they offer. $300 a month was the cheapest one I could find. The Follow Up Ninja does everything that those softwares do and more, and it's included. So your total value here is over $5,000 a year already, but there's actually more to it as well. There's automated appointment reminders. So we tested so many different calendar systems and appointments. I used to use Calendly, Acuity. You've probably heard of some of these. I mean, I've used pretty much, I even tried to build my own custom appointment reminder system at one point. It was rough. And the reminder sequences on top of that to find out which one worked the best. When should we text them? When should we call them? When should we email them? 2 days ahead, 1 day ahead, 1 hour ahead, 15 minutes ahead. We tested all that stuff. We boiled it down to the easiest exact templates that we use, smashing show rates out of the ballpark by leaps and bounds. And this just allows you to focus on growing your school. And it's going to make it so much easier for you to grow your school, because leads are great. Everybody wants leads, right? Everybody wants automations, but appointment bookings are better. And if they don't show up, what's the point, right? So you want to make sure that you're getting the right appointment reminders out. The Follow Up Ninja leads, they can do self-book, or you can book them easily. And then once they book it, it automatically stops extra follow-up as well and starts sending them appointment reminders. That's another huge thing about this, what we call hybrid intelligent system, is it knows that if someone booked an appointment, we can stop bugging them about booking the appointment. If you're using either like a hodgepodge of different softwares and you're like doing what some would call a drip campaign. I hate that term, but a drip campaign where you're just like sending them stuff because they opted in. If they book an appointment, you can't really set up that drip campaign to say, hey, you need to book an appointment, because once they book an appointment through your other system, it doesn't know. With the Follow Up Ninja, it knows, and it keeps track of that stuff. So if the first few messages are like, hey, thanks for getting this free week pass, when do you want to come in, today or tomorrow? Once they book their appointment, it's going to quit sending them messages like that, and it's just going to start sending them automations. Makes life so much easier. And maybe you're thinking like, I'm already using another online calendar, or maybe you just don't know how to use an online calendar. You're worried it's going to be hard to set up. Totally not an issue. The Follow Up Ninja is fully customizable calendar. It's built in, super easy to set up, and it can also seamlessly integrate to your other calendar system. So like, let's say you're using Google Calendar and you really like that, or Apple Calendar or something like that. You really like using that for your calendar. The Follow Up Ninja will tie right into that as well, seamlessly. And so automated appointment reminders, if you look at something like Calendly or Acuity, it's about $240 a year. So all of those things adding up, the plug and play animations, $2,000 a year, the mobile app, $120 a year, the reputation review management, $3,000 a year, and the automated appointment reminders, $240 value per year. These are real world values, or over $5,000 a year, $5,360 a year. Maybe you're like, at this point, you're like, all right, this sounds like it's going to be complicated. And the answer is it was complicated. Our developers are luckily they're good at that stuff, but because of all that hard work, one of the expressions in programming is, and I'm a hobbyist. I don't know anything about programming, but one of the things they always say is, if it's easy to use, it was hard to program. And so these developers have spent so much time, put so much hard work into it, that by the time you're in here, it's a walk in the park for you. The process is nearly 90% automated. All you really do is fill out a couple of forms and you're ready to go. Like if you were able to log into Zoom, you probably are way more tech savvy than you need to be to set the stuff up. We also have a thing called the Social Media Planner, AI. It has an AI built into it. You don't have to use the AI, but it's pretty useful. But I remember sitting and staring at a blank screen on my phone and just like, what am I going to post? I need to post something. I know I should be posting something, and just trying forever to figure out what to say. With the newest advancements in AI, you can literally type something like why dance is great for kids or why karate is good for kids, and the system will create an entire post. You can even tell it like a short post, a long post, a medium post. It will do everything, and then you just click a button and it posts it right to your page. You can even create images with it if you want to. Personally, I'm not a big fan of the AI images. I think they still look weird. I think we'll get there eventually, but if you like the AI images, sometimes it's a cool thing. Or like a way to like model, oh, I want to take a picture that looks like this. But we've made this so easy that you don't really have to know anything about AI or social media or marketing or anything to create really good content for your page and profiles. It's going to make it so much easier and faster for you to get students in the door because it gives you instant access to the most advanced AI in the world. And you don't have to worry about like how to use it. You just give it a command and it gets to work for you. So you don't have to worry about what to post ever again. And maybe you're like, I don't really understand AI. Doesn't matter. 4 clicks is about how far it takes, and you can create amazing content. And it's actually really good content. I was really surprised to see how well we did a demo of it on our last webinar. And that's what we typed in, I think, was why karate is good for kids. And it just like gave us 4 paragraphs. And it was like talking through real world, like, it creates discipline in a child. And I don't remember exactly what it said, but it was really good. It would have taken me a half hour to write that, at least, right? So you can use this you can also use the AI that's powered by ChatGPT to do emails and text messages and other content. It's all built into the Follow-Up Ninja. You just give it a command and it's good. So all of that built in. So you've got the plug and play animations at $2,000 a year, the mobile app at $120 a year, the reputation review management worth $3,000 a year, the automated appointment reminders worth $240 a year, the social media planner. Some social media plan companies will charge you $30-40 a month just to help you plan your social media and give you nothing except this is when you should post and this is kind of what it should be posted about. We're giving you that as part of the Follow-Up Ninja. That brings the total value up to $5,710 plus event promos and registration. Somebody asked about event promos earlier in the webinar. You can easily send and receive mass emails and texts, even voicemails to your entire list of leads to promote things like ninja nights or dance party nights or tournaments, recitals, demos, parents' night out, trunk or treats, festivals, anything else you can dream up. I'm sure a lot of you guys are probably already doing a lot of this kind of stuff. You can easily promote this stuff. And you can allow people to register for it, let them know, and then send them reminders automatically. It's a huge benefit of the Follow-Up Ninja. It makes it so much easier for you to get students because you can promote those events to your entire list through multiple channels instantly. And then you can actually see those real-time responses and start some conversations that way too. You get unlimited events and promos for this. So maybe you're worried like, oh, this is going to take so long to set up. Totally not a problem because we've built it all for you already. It's already there. And if something's not built right now, what we're doing is actually customizing stuff inside of accounts and then pushing it to everybody. So Kevin was on last week. Kevin Hudson was on and he was asking about a certain specific thing that I thought this would be cool for everybody to have. So we're just going to build it for him and then we're going to push it out to everybody that wants it. So we're always doing this kind of stuff. You just fill out a couple of fields though for an event and bam, it's built. 99% of it's set up for you. You just click go and you're ready to go. That adds another $350 per year in value, bringing the total value over $6,000 per year. But we already talked about some of this membership portal. We already went through some of this stuff with you. The membership portal is going to allow you to just basically build a membership portal inside your website, in your curriculum. And even if you don't have the website built through the Follow-Up Ninja, you can still set up a membership portal, which gives you access to members only stuff where you can set up videos or documents or tests or any other information that you only want your students to see. And they'll have to log in to get it. And the setup process is super easy. Your students are already in the Follow Up Ninja. So when you make them a student, you can automate a thing that sends them access to log right into their membership portal. It's so seamless, so easy. And this helps you keep students because it completely customizes their experience to your specific school, adds a ton of value for the student. From a parent's point of view of a student, I can tell you, man, is this valuable, so valuable to the students. And they'll be able to access your training on demand to be able to practice at home or learn different creeds or whatever it is, different moves. And maybe you're like, oh, this is going to look ugly or be hard to set up. I showed it to you already. You can see it's very simple. It's a great design for following a curriculum. And it's super easy. You just basically click and then you do a couple of things and then you're good to go. It's super, super easy. It requires almost no tech savvy whatsoever. You click, you upload your video, you save it. This has been designed by the best people in the industry. It encourages ease of access for your students, and you can be set up as fast as you want with really no headache designs or no design headaches at all. So just a quick recap of what you get, all the stuff we talked about, plus that student magnet portal or the student membership portal, which is easily valued at $500 a year. We're already pushing $6,560 a year. It's over $500 a month in real world value. The best part is you can get your account set up in about 10 minutes, but the real question is, what's it going to be worth to you? So I just want to give you just an idea of how to look at things like this. If you're charging $150 a month, if all this did was help you get 6 new students this year, think about that. That's 1 student every other month. Even if all this did was help you stop 1 student every other month from slipping through the cracks, that would be worth what we just showed you, right? Because if 6 students are paying $500 a month, or 6 students are paying $150 a month, that's going to be over $900 a month, right? And over 12 months, that's $10,000 in added value to your school just by saving or getting 6 extra students this year. That's 1 student every other month. And obviously there's no guarantees, but it all depends on how much work you put into this and how you apply it. But think about that. 1 student every other month would be worth $10,000 in added value to your school. This would be a steal at $6,500. But we're doing something super special for everybody here on the masterclass. We're offering this at a ridiculous price. You don't have to pay $6,500. You don't have to pay a normal $3,000 price that we would like to price this at, because that's what it's worth. $167 a month is all the student or all the Follow Up Ninja is. And with that, you can actually go right to, Travis will probably post a link here. If you're not using the Follow Up Ninja already, you can go to thefollowupninja.com, get signed right up for $167 a month. Comes with everything we just talked about. Whoops. Plug and play automations, mobile app, reputation review management, automated appointment reminders, social media planner, all of the AI stuff we talked about, event promos, event registration, student membership portal. All of that's included for $167 a month. You can go over and create your account at thefollowupninja.com right now. But really, you've got a couple of choices. You can just continue doing what you've been doing and expect to get the same kind of results you've been getting, or you can change what you've been doing by enrolling in the Follow Up Ninja, and then you can change the trajectory of where you're headed, expect better results because we've proven the system over and over again. And the great thing is there's no commitments. It's a cancel anytime thing. It's like Netflix, you start it up and you say, you know what, I don't like it. You just cancel it and no hard feelings, a couple of clicks. Real question is this worth gambling just a few minutes of your time to check it out? Even if it only does half of what we talked about, it's going to pay for itself with 1 or 2 students. And really, if that wasn't amazing enough, we're also running a special right now this month that if you upgrade to annual billing, we'll actually give you that website for free included in there, plus 2 free months. So you basically pay 10 months up front. You get 12 months plus a free lead gen website. And it's got all the basic SEO built in. It gives a free SSL certificate forever, so you don't have to pay for that SSL certificate, which GoDaddy, I think, charges like $250 a year just for that certificate. And then Google Business Profile training comes with that, so we'll show you exactly how to set up that Google Business Profile, exactly what to put where, what settings to use, how to tag those images, how to set up the Q&A section, how to do the reviews, how to ask for the reviews, set up the reviews, display the reviews on your site. All that stuff's included in that if you upgrade to the annual bonus. you can do it over at thefollowupninja.com. Also, we're going to be doing a one-on-one onboarding call. If you're not using the Follow Up Ninja yet, and this is your first time seeing this, we're going to make sure you hit the ground running. We'll talk through some strategy, make sure you get everything set up. Want to make sure we know what you're going to use it for so we can point you in the direction of how to get set up fastest. If you're already using the Follow Up Ninja and you just want to upgrade to the annual billing, we'll go ahead and do the 2 months free and the website included with that as well. So if you don't have your website inside the Follow Up Ninja, now's a good time to upgrade to annual billing because we're going to throw in that website for you, which we normally typically will charge like $3,000 to build that website. A lot of times for our Student Magnet members, we'll offer it for a highly discounted price of like $997. But if you upgrade to annual billing, you're going to get the entire year of the Follow Up Ninja for the price of 10 months plus the free website. So on this onboarding call, if you decide to join right now, we'll go ahead and talk through some of the stuff that is going to help you get the most out of this. Maybe you're like, you know what, I don't need an onboarding call. It's fine. It's just a bonus, so you don't have to use it anyway. But sometimes when you're new, we find people like to get on the phone and just talk through things. So we're happy to do that. We want to over deliver for you. So we want to make sure you're getting the most value. All right. So just a quick recap. Plug and play automations worth $2,000 a year. Mobile app, $120 a year. The reputation review management is worth $3,000 a year. The automated appointment reminders are worth $240 a year. The social media planners worth $350 a year. The event promos and the registrations worth $350 a year. The student membership portal is worth $600 a year. A fully optimized website, if you decide to do the annual upgrade, priced at around $2,000 a year. Total value for this is $8,560 a year. Over $700 a month of real world value that you can get for just $167 per month, or $1,670 for the annual upgrade along with the free website. So I guess now's a good time for any additional questions now that I've been through my voice and my entire pitch deck over here, if you will. So let's get into some
value
questions.
you just spouted out, John. Yeah,
Dude.
definitely. Get some questions in. We do have one question where Sifu Cardinal wants us to take a look at his website. I figured we could take a peek in there real quick, but that was early on, so hopefully a lot of his questions got answered.
Oh my gosh, it's way up there.
But it could reiterate a couple things.
But where was that
open up. I'm sorry?
Sorry, did you want me to click on a link somewhere?
I'll send it your way. But I just wanted to make sure that any other questions that people had asked. Liz asked about leads. Yeah, if you have leads from an old list, actually you can import them into T-Fun, the Follow Up Ninja, and you can actually send a promotion to them right away. We call it our Rekindle program. And it's about a 5% conversion. So if you have about 100 leads with phone numbers, you can get about 5 appointments booked from that, which is pretty nice from an old lead list automatically. Takes you about 5 minutes.
Yeah. Or if you have 1,000 leads, you can get, if you have 1,000 leads, you can get 50 appointments.
I was just going to say, for every 100 leads, you can get 5 appointments pretty much booked. So yeah, really super easy to import old leads, or if you have a form on a different thing that people, someone fills out a form at an event, it's going to auto populate. Other than that, if you're running ads, then those leads are going to come in natively and naturally. So that was one question there. Anybody else? I'm checking all the channels. Let's see. I think that's all we have right now until we look at Mike's website, which will be a good reiteration of again, why the format that's already built into the Follow Up Ninja is a good format just to build off of, as opposed to trying to figure it out on your own. Let me pull up his website there. So if anybody wants to see us kind of walk through something here real quick, spend a couple of minutes here, Mike, and then if you want to dive a little bit deeper, I'll make sure I send you a message as well. But John, I just put the link in the chat on Zoom. Can you see that?
Yep, I just got it. Let's see. All right. Free trial. Okay. This is not too bad. We got our free trial. I'd say a little feedback right out the bat. I like that you have the start your free trial now. I'm assuming it's a free trial. I don't really like where it's placed. I wonder what this looks like on mobile. Let me open up Inspector real quick. So on mobile, you see what happens in a menu like that? When you're on a mobile, this is a mobile view. Your sign up button disappears behind this menu right here. And it gets buried below the fold. So that's definitely a tweak I would make there. All right, let's go back to the desktop view. So I'd probably put this button somewhere right here, like above this paragraph. Also, the video is cool that you've got running behind here. Your menu items kind of get faded away and get lost in there. So I'd probably put like a dark, if you look at the way some of these videos are set up, see how there's like an overlay, a black overlay, so that the words really pop out no matter what happens color wise on the video. You got a dark overlay on there, because without that there, when somebody lands on this page, if there's white behind there, some of these get washed out. I like that you got your socials there. Logo looks good. Content of the site might be a little busy. Got a good button there. Any specific feedback you're looking for?
Yeah, feel free to chat that in, and then also with the
Just
button.
how
Oh,
we
is there?
can make
Okay, go ahead.
just how we can make it better. I mean, if it, you know, just your professional opinion. I don't like the mask, but I paid somebody to do that. I'll hate to redo it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that might be might kind of just outdate things a little bit for people. As they look at it. I think, at this point we're kind of a few years past that stuff, but
Yeah, I think those couple things,
cool. Those couple of things will
Michael,
definitely make a difference. The Google
and
business
then
profile.
even when you click like the start your trial now, the more loading and the more processes like this right now I don't feel like I feel like I'm giving you a lot of my personal information.
Yes.
I don't want to give that to you as a colder lead. All you want to collect is name, email, phone number. And then we can, like John said earlier on, we can figure that out later when we talk, right? The student's name, the age, and all that kind of stuff. This right here is like a parent. I look at this and I'm like, I don't have time for this. And I'm just being blunt with you, because I figure that you kind of opened the door for me to help you. So I'm not being mean. It's more the site. Let's just get name, email, phone number, and even on the first page where it had the pop up for start your free trial, which is great.
Yep.
Let's just put a form right there, as opposed to, like, John, when you tried to exit, I think there was an exit pop up. It seemed that way. It might have already done it once.
I don't think it was an exit pop up. I think it was just like a timed.
Okay. So, and even that's pretty good too. But on there, let's have the form right there, as opposed to me having to click and then go to that, because you have load times that might be an issue, right? The more pages I have to turn, the less conversion you get. I think it's for every item I have to fill out, I think is it what 10% drop in conversion, John, for every line that I need to fill out. So if you just collected people's names, you'd get a good number, right? But then you don't know what to do. So we need to get email and phone number. But then for everything after that, we're losing conversion. One, from time too, right? Like, I got to put this in. Then you get into the area of just kind of, man, there's a lot of information. I'm going to give them my junk email address, because it just creates like this kind of defensive position from people. So that's affecting conversion. We just want to make it nice, clean, and simple.
More thinking, like the more thinking they have to do, the more the higher chance that they will talk themselves out of it. So especially if your site is really good at attracting people who are just curious, it's easier to talk yourself out of something if you're just a little bit curious about it than if you're really committed. Like, if let's say you're in an orange belt and you've been doing martial arts a while and you move to a new town and you need to find a new dojo. That person's going to be pretty dedicated to go through whatever hoops you wanted to jump through to join your school. But like mom of a 6-year-old who just watched the 1990s Ninja Turtle movie and got excited about doing kick flips or jump kicks.
Or saw Cobra Kai on Netflix and they're like, oh, I want to do that, mom.
Yeah. Like, she might go on and get to this point and be like, hasn't even thought about when to start. She's just like, I'm just curious about this. Let me just get some information. Oh, a free week pass, that would be nice. She would fill that out. She would get to this. She might not want to give you her kid's name yet. She might not want to do that. She might not want to give you her full address. What are you going to come knock on her door? Are you going to send her a postcard? What are we going to do with this? She definitely is probably not going to know when she wants to start. So, the more information you ask for, the easier it is for her to go, oh, yeah, I'm gonna have to. I need to look at my calendar. So there's a lot to it. So I hope you don't feel like when somebody who goes into like the plastic surgeon's office and they just start drawing on you with a marker, like, oh yeah, this part's fat.
No, no, no. I appreciate it. I'll fix it. We don't gotta waste no time on it. It will be fixed.
Cool. Cool.
Just any other things to should I redo the entire video? I mean, because I paid somebody to, but is the video that important, or are
no.
they just gonna click on it?
It's not important at all. If anything, just take it off if you don't like it anymore. Just put like a still image behind it. It's not all it does is create a little movement for somebody who just clicks on it. Might create a little bit more interest in but it's probably not showing up on mobile anyway. A lot of times videos won't automatically play on mobile anyhow, and almost all your traffic is going to be from mobile. So even though it's showing its video on here, if you were to actually open that link on a mobile phone, depending on the phone, it might not even play the video. So it'll just grab a screenshot from it and just sit it as a still image behind it anyway. So it's no big deal at all.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you for your help and your tips.
Yes, sir. Absolutely. Thanks for being on. Appreciate your candid questions. All right. We got any other questions, Travis?
Not that I see. I think that's it.
Sweet. Awesome.
Chris did ask, he has a database of 6,000 names, basically contacts that he uses Gmail GMass. Can he connect his database through that and eliminate GMass? Absolutely.
Yeah.
In fact, it's much
probably
better
work
because
better.
Yeah, one, it'll work better to the deliverability be higher, and you can start to automate a lot of that process too. So that way you're not manually doing things. You can just a lot more streamlined for you.
Yeah, definitely.
So, and I don't even know how much, do you know how, I haven't looked at GMass in a while. Do you know how much GMass costs?
I do not.
Pricing plans. Yeah, so he's probably with that number of contacts, he's spending at least
50, 60 a month, maybe more.
Yeah, about 60 a month. And that doesn't even include, like, there's just going to be, it's way more technical. Like, you got to get into that. You have to have other programs to be able to do it. So it's not even 60 because you need like three other programs for it to do what you want it to do.
Yep. And it really, even though, so Gmail has a limit of 250 a day that you can send. It's kind of a black hat tool. It's not really like as far as I know, I don't think it's really a Google feature. No. It's somebody's built a hack to get around it. So probably better to stick to the way that they want you to do stuff. Just sending it through an autoresponder. So definitely the File Ninja would make that easier and faster and better. Probably improve your deliverability and all that stuff.
Yeah, and then you can start following up with text messages and stuff too to that list.
Exactly, and have it all in one conversation, which is nice.
Yep.
Cool. More questions? Any other questions?
Not that I see. Happy to answer them.
Chris is at 39 a month with terrible response rates. Well, there you go.
Yeah. There you have it. Let me put that link in there for you again, Chris. So you search for it.
Yeah. Yeah. Cool. 39 a month for no response, or 167 for 5% response. Booking.
If it adds one student.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Pays for it.
One response.
Sometimes when I think about software like this, hey, is this software going to get me one more student a month?
Right.
And then if it just one time, right, and that student stays, right, that student pays for all these features for me. Like, is that the calculation I can make? So,
yes.
But
simple, no brainer.
Yep.
Cool. Yeah. So I guess if we don't have any more questions, we just wrap it with that final 5-minute video with a little quick overview of the Follow-Up Ninja features again, and call it a day. What do you think?
Yep. I'm actually going to jump off when you start that video, John. Okay. I have a call coming up, but I'll let you handle if anything comes in.
Yeah, it's good. I think we'll just start the video. And then for those of you who have questions, I think the chat will continue on after doesn't the chat continue on after the meeting's over even? If it doesn't, feel free to message us back through however you heard about this webinar in the first place. So I will leave you with this video. It's about 5 minutes, just a quick overview of the Follow-Up Ninja, and then we'll check you guys out next time. What if there was one simple tool that you could plug into your social media and your school website that would double, triple, and sometimes even quadruple your odds of converting leads into paying students? I'm about to show you a tool that is proven to do just that, and with no tech savvy needed. It's probably easier to use than anything you've ever tried before. It's called the Follow Up Ninja, and the idea is simple but powerful. Here's how it works. When you sign up for the Follow Up Ninja, you're able to click a few buttons and follow a few dead simple steps to link the app to your social media profiles and website. Once you're linked up, every new lead that comes in from your website, social media, Messenger, and even lead form ads will automatically start getting follow-up messages that nurture them towards signing up for your classes. So how does this simple tool boost conversions immediately? The reason is simple: hybrid intelligent automation. This eliminates all possible human errors, and more importantly, it eliminates the frustration of chasing down bad leads. The number one absolutely most frustrating thing about doing lead follow-up manually is the time wasted on leads who never answer the phone and never take any action. It's the reason why most school marketing campaigns fail. On the flip side, the issue with automation has always been that it's missing that human touch and can be confusing if a lead responds with a question and then gets the wrong answer to their question or some other automated response instead. If people think a machine is talking to them, they will get frustrated or simply ignore it. This has always been the issue with automating the process until now. The Follow Up Ninja destroys this challenge with its one-of-a-kind hybrid intelligence model. The automated follow-up messages are friendly and personable, and as soon as a lead replies to the messages, you get notified and can take the conversation over manually. This hybrid intelligence allows you to completely ignore all the bad leads and at the same time allows you to only talk to the highest and best quality leads, so that you can still provide that human interaction without getting bogged down in chasing after unresponsive leads. Now, instead of wasting time chasing people down who will never sign up for classes, you can spend your time teaching classes and running your school. The Follow Up Ninja automatically follows up with every lead and notifies you when a lead has a question, books an appointment, or pays for a trial online. For example, let's say you have a Facebook ad running and it's generating 3 to 5 leads per day. To get the most return on your ad spend, you'd have to stop what you're doing 3 to 5 times per day to send out text messages or emails and then wait around for replies. And if none of those leads got back to you on day 1, you're doing twice the work on day 2, trying to juggle the new leads while continuing the follow-up process on the leads from the day before. Every day, the process multiplies in complexity and it's overwhelming, and then you give up. With the Follow Up Ninja, everything is done automatically. Your leads get daily follow-up messages automatically, plus they even get a link to set their own appointments in time slots you've pre-selected. Worried about double booking? We've got you covered there too. You can set the calendar to accept one appointment at a time or limit it to as many multiples as you want, and you'll never be double booked again. You can even plug the Follow Up Ninja into your Google Calendar with a couple clicks. What about appointment reminders? The Follow Up Ninja will automatically send appointment reminders via text message to your leads so that you can count on a high show-up rate. What about situations where you have different class times or different ages or different promotions going on at the same time? It works then too. For example, we've seen school owners promoting a free week of class, camps, even after-school programs, all at the same time, all with different age-appropriate time slots, and the Follow Up Ninja keeps up with all of it. Most importantly, we've seen as high as 50% of cold leads book appointments from an ad on social media. That means if you get 100 leads, you could have as many as 50 appointments. Imagine what you could do with all those appointments. More appointments means more opportunities to enroll more students. In this case, 50 opportunities. Instead of paying thousands or even tens of thousands of dollars to a big team of internet marketers or an agency, or wasting months with trial and error trying to do it all yourself, or even relying on a minimum wage employee to do all the follow-up manually, the Follow Up Ninja comes pre-installed with our winning campaigns that you can easily customize in seconds for nowhere near the cost of a manual solution. Adding the Follow Up Ninja to your marketing strategy today is guaranteed to boost your conversions. Get access to this powerful hybrid intelligent follow-up tool right now. In just the next few weeks, you could be doubling, tripling, or even quadrupling your conversions by adding this simple tool to your marketing strategy. To get started, just click the button on this page, and I look forward to seeing you on the